Hey, how's it going? Today is day 100 of my 100-day inspiration challenge. And honestly, I can hardly believe that I made it this far. There were so many points where I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to do 100 days? 100 days is a long freaking time. So, happy New Year's Eve. I hope that you are having an amazing day. I hope that you are excited about what's to come for 2021. And I just want to talk about some of the things that I learned from this experience and some of the things that I think might be helpful to you as you are thinking about your heart's desires or creative endeavors. So the first thing is, when I decided to do this, the reason why was because I was reading a book and I got so excited about what it said and I was so inspired that I was like, yes, I'm going to just get on and I'm going to do a live video, and there's 100 days left in the year, so I'm going to do this 100-day live challenge. And I had all of this inspiration and energy, and then I took action on that thing immediately without thinking about it. And I'll tell you, so that was how this started. Is I had the inspiration, I had the energy, and then I took action. And then the next day, immediately after, I was like, what did I do? I just committed myself to 100 days. And I think that a lot of creative endeavors work like that, and a lot of amazing opportunities work like that as well. So you will have inspiration. You will have something inside of you that will tell you, this is it. You should do this thing. And you might get excited. You might also get scared, because those things are very similar. And the key is to take action. To take action right when that inspiration hits. Don't think about it too much. You don't even have to know exactly what your plan is. You don't have to have a plan. If you look back at my first couple videos, my plan was actually to speak on The Artist's Way the entire time. And then as I kept going, I realized that was going to be very challenging. So it kind of navigated and I had to adjust, and it turned into what it is now. And so had I tried to overthink about it, overcomplicate it, had I waited and not taken action immediately when that inspiration hit, then none of this would have happened. And I'm not saying that this is any profound thing, but I think that this is a learning lesson for all of us, that if we feel that impulse, if we feel that inspiration, whatever it is, even if it's quitting your job, which is really scary if you don't have a plan, but that inspiration, that impulse is coming to you for a reason. And if you don't take action on it, if you wait on it, then you're going to second guess yourself. That doubt is going to set in. So the first thing is taking action immediately when inspiration hits, even if you don't have a plan. So that is the first key takeaway. The second thing is committing to whatever you say you're going to do. So in this process, obviously, it was 100 days of live videos. And a lot of people, well, not a lot, but a couple of people have come to me and been like, man, you're so inspiring. You're so positive. How do you stay positive through everything that you've gone through? And you're only seeing a small part of my life. Yes, I am proactively working on being positive and, soaking in motivation and inspiration, because I am working on healing myself. But there have been so many days where I was like, I do not want to do this, and where I had to really fight myself, and I just had to show up. I had to do exactly what I am saying. I had to do exactly what the name of my company is, show up to go up, because I so strongly believe that half the battle is just showing up. And so there were so many times when I didn't know what I was going to talk about, and I didn't want to do a video, and I was feeling down about myself, but I committed to the process, and I committed to taking action, and I committed to showing up regardless of how it was going to look. And sometimes I would literally just press play and I would do it. And I think that is a key takeaway too, is letting yourself be bad, allowing yourself to be bad, because at the end of the day, it's all about repetition. It's all about building that muscle. that is something that I am really taking with me in 2021, that I'm really focusing on. Everything in life you can get better at if you focus on repetition. If you allow yourself to be bad, you're not going to start off being amazing. And even if you get to be good, you might sink down and you might be bad again. You might suck. So everything in life is about putting in the repetitions and building the muscle so that you can be better, or so that you can just do the work, take the action, and maybe 25% of the time you suck, but maybe 75% of the time you're awesome. Or maybe 75% of the time you suck, but 25% of the time you're awesome. So committing to whatever it is that you want, even when you don't want to do it, is so important. And be okay sucking, because that's a part of the process. Not every one of these videos was amazing. I wasn't proud of all of these videos, but I did it. And I am proud of this as a whole. So that is the second takeaway that I want to leave you with, is committing to show up for yourself regardless of how you feel, and letting yourself be bad, allowing yourself to be bad and embrace the journey, because everything in life is a journey. And the third takeaway is resistance. So I did an episode on this a couple weeks ago. And for me personally, I started noticing my resistance patterns as I was thinking about these 100 live videos. I remember when I hit 20 or 25 and 30, I was like, holy crap, I still have so many to go. How am I going to do this? It was so hard in the beginning. And I think that that is true with almost anything in life. It is so hard in the beginning because you're building momentum. You're getting out of your comfort zone. You're doing something new. And so you're building, you're learning, you're stacking. And so you have to build that momentum, and then you find that flow. But knowing that resistance is going to be there. And so for me, my resistance really showed up in the beginning, the first 25 to 30 live videos or episodes. And then also it showed up at the end. So I had some more resistance and doubts right around 90. Between 90 and 95, I was like, oh, I've come so far. Like, do I really need to keep going? Is it that important? And I also had the self-doubt of, do I really have anything left to say? And I only have 10 left. Like, now I have to make them amazing. All of these different fears crept in. And so I realized that that was just my resistance trying to hold me back. That was just my fear. And that is how my resistance and my fears show up in my life. I started thinking about a lot of different things and how what the patterns of my resistance looks like. And I realized that in a lot of different ways, it shows up in that same pattern. So paying attention to the patterns of your resistance, of your fear. Like I said, for me, it was really strong in the beginning for a long time until I felt more comfortable. So like the first quarter to a third of it, there was a lot of resistance, a lot of times where I had to talk myself up. And then again, that resistance showed up at the end, right before the finish line. And like I said, I know that that's a pattern in my life that I have. Sometimes I will get so close to something and then I will question, I will doubt, or I will throw in the towel because I don't know why, but it's like, can I really do it? It's that final push. It's kind of like when you break up with someone and then you say to yourself, I'm done with that person. And then like the next day, that person texts you or calls you and they're like, I made a mistake. I was such a fool. I love you. And then you have that decision to make. Your decision is, are you going to stick with your word, what you said, and be done with that person because you know that person's no good for you? Or are you going to go back on your word? And so I think any creative endeavor is kind of like that. I think the universe, God, is testing you and saying, okay, you said that you wanted this. How bad do you want it? Are you willing to push past this resistance? Are you willing to keep showing up for yourself, to keep going, to keep fighting, to say and do the thing that you want? So that is the third takeaway, is learning and being aware of your resistance and your fear patterns. So those 3 takeaways are to start without a plan. Start when that inspiration hits, regardless of a plan, and to keep going regardless of whether you want to or not, if you have motivation or not, and then paying attention to your resistance patterns, because that will be helpful in the future so that the next time when you feel that resistance, you'll be able to say, oh, I've been here before. I know what this is like, and I'm not going to listen to it. I'm going to shut it down. The last thing I want to say is whatever is on your heart, it is on your heart for a reason. Like I said, whether it is pursuing a podcast, whether it is getting out of a relationship or taking care of yourself so that you're ready for a new relationship, or quitting your job or starting a new job, whatever is on your heart, it is on your heart for a reason. You were made to be a creative being, and any sort of action that you take is you creating the life that you want. And the thing about creativity, the thing about action toward creativity, is that it leads to healing. It leads to expression, and it leads to a happier life. It leads to more inspiration, not just for you, but for other people as well. So it is the gift that keeps on giving. So listen to that voice inside of you, and don't worry about the plan. You don't have to know all the answers. Just take action, and you will be so surprised where you end up, what you go through, and it may not be exactly what you thought it was. But if you feel an impulse or an inspiration, it is coming to you for a reason. How can you listen to that? And how can you take action on that and be open to the journey? That is where it all starts. Thank you so much for showing up with me. Keep showing up for yourself regardless of where you are, regardless of how you feel. If you do, there is nowhere that you can go but up. If you'd like to dive deeper, you can head over to showuptogoup.com. Have an amazing new year. I hope that you pursue and you take action and you create the life that you want, despite what's going on in 2021, because you deserve it. Have a great new year. Bye.